an O'Malley castle, but it was owned by a chieftain called Edmund Tibbet.
You get notebook?
And yeah, we will be getting out, but I want to read out a bit, describe it. And this castle was where Grace O Malley's son, by her second marriage, Tibbet Long, he was fostered here. Now, fostering was a very common practice among the landed gentry or the important people in those days. And the reason for that was the parents were too busy fighting or making political alliances, so a child was given at a very young age into another family to be reared with the family. So this was a very good thing for Tibbet Long, because he got a good home life, which he wouldn't have got with his own parents, and he was treated like one of the other children. He would have had all the affection, the discipline and the care that were given to their own children. It also would have formed later a political alliance, because if there were any battles, then these people would have joined Tibbet to fight for whatever they were, whatever his cause was. Now, there's only very little of this castle left, but I have a description here which I'm going to read out to you, and it's kind of hard to imagine it, but the central hall, dimly lighted by one heavily mullioned window high up in the eastern wall, was surrounded by a gallery, from which hung arms, swords and pikes. The centre of the room was occupied by a table of dark red wood brought from Spain. Dressers with shelves loaded with Dutch ware, he's objecting to us, and silver plate stood against the walls and benches and chairs. At each side of the fireplace, iron brackets for torches of bogwood were fixed to the walls. The floor was strewn with ashes. Ascending by one of the stone staircases in the thickness of the wall, we enter a spacious chamber with mullioned window opening towards the bay. That would be looking out that way. In the opposite wall of the castle, a window of similar structure looked out upon the sedgy swamp. That's that way, sedgy swamp. This apartment was divided by an oak screen into a sleeping and a living room. The floor above had several small chambers which provided sleeping accommodation to the men of the household. From there, easy access to the battlemented roof. The only openings in the southern and northern walls, which were those most exposed to attack, were loopholes or arrow slits. On the land side, the castle bawn was protected by a swamp, that side here, and of course by the sea on the other side. Outside the castle were numerous skin-covered cabins. So they would have been surrounded by these small little cabins, because obviously the castle itself could not accommodate all the people who would have been involved in the running of this castle. So I don't know if anybody wants to get out, have a look.
What date is it?
That date's 1400s.
1400s. Okay.